Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be doing some brief technical analysis on Bitcoin, see what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you'll be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you have not yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. If you're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, check out the Patreon services as well. We offer various different kind of things, everything from AMAs weekly with us all the way through to a bit more trading as the market starts to liven up a bit. So with all that said, done out of the way, let's get into this, right? So Bitcoin paired up with USDT, hourly chart, Binance is the data source here. Now, we obviously have been tracking this for quite some time. We've been talking about $34,000. We're on that journey down there in my opinion. And, you know, I'm expecting some kind of short-term bouncing to occur at some point, but we aren't there yet. Okay, so basically we saw a move down yesterday, but we kind of hit this top end of the box, right? $37,500, and we kind of moved on out from there. I still expect us to pull back down. I don't think this corrective move is done just yet. So we're taking a look at this, and I'm thinking, yeah, we're probably going to be revisiting the lower bound here, probably around the low 37s, maybe high 36s. I think there's going to be something in there, maybe 36.5. I don't know. Somewhere in that kind of sweet spot, I do feel, right? And ultimately this is between 36 and 37.5. I know we've entered the top box here, but we haven't entered this little refined area just yet. We bring the stochastic RSI into play. You can see that we're up in the overbought area on this hourly chart already. If we check the other timelines, the 4 hourly is actually okay, the 8 hourly is okay, and the daily is almost in a really good spot there. The weekly is good progression as well. So what I'm thinking is one last pull back into this little box, and then bam, we should be looking for a significant bounce. Okay, but again, I don't think it's going to be a huge bounce, but it should be of significance. Maybe we'll try to push the 40k mark, and then we should be looking at pulling down towards our $34,000 end goal. And again, if I zoom out of this far enough, you can kind of see that's tracking all the way from the $48,000 range, and we move down towards $34,000. Okay, this is kind of what we've been talking about for quite some time, and you know, you might want to acknowledge this as many different kind of patterns or whatever, but essentially that's kind of what we're looking at. In the same way that we were tracking this nice move up, we weren't buying that. We bought this B wave low, and then we tracked up for the C wave high. We were sending that C wave high, and now we're just waiting for these low points to come back in so that we can accumulate. Okay, so we are getting close. There's a little bit of dollar cost averaging just happening down here at this particular point, not for Bitcoin but for many altcoins, and we'll probably look to kind of get out of those again on the bounce, and then look to kind of come back down, at least from a trading perspective, and not from the hodl perspective. If we're hodling here, we're waiting for a little bit lower before we do some decent dollar cost averaging and all of that kind of good stuff. So that's kind of where I see Bitcoin right now. We are looking to kind of pull back down. We're probably looking to come down towards the 36.5. Seems like a good kind of middle ground area that we probably have the momentum to take us down to. That should actually lower our daily stochastic RSI into a really good strong position, and then next week I would expect some kind of bounce and move upwards, although brief as that may be. I would expect it to kind of be done with, so that we can then talk about moving down towards the $34,000. And I think, you know, in the month of May is going to be an interesting one. I think we'll go down low and then start a nice recovery. But timing is always hard, right? It's hard to know exactly what is going to happen based on timings. But we can see here that we are probably going to be moving down towards the low 37s, high 36s, and then at some point in the future we are looking at moving down to $34,000 unless invalidated. Now, to invalidate such a move, we would have to go up higher than $48,000. Okay, so I think for the most part that's very unlikely. I mean, we could argue that we could move up to maybe $43,000 and that would do it. It would basically essentially make this thing an expanding flat corrective B wave though, and then we still pull back down afterwards. So I wouldn't necessarily look at that as 100% an invalidation perspective, because there's other ways that we could count the B wave structure at that point. True invalidation would be, of course, moving up higher than the origin of the A wave there. So we'd have to go up to higher than $48,000 in my opinion. Although I think we would pretty much call it if we were to go up significantly higher, let's say $46,000, $45,000, for example. Okay, so knowing this and knowing where we're heading, after this, we should be thinking about what happens, right? We speak about Glassnode data all the time. Let me just refine this a little bit, but we have a multi-year low. If I just bring this to 2018 here, we can see that we haven't had this little Bitcoin on the exchanges now since August 2018, sorry. Okay, so significant squeeze on the supply is being had right now. This is the first time in Bitcoin's history that we've seen something like this. For the most part, all we've really done is see the balance of Bitcoin on exchanges just go up, 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 and up, and up. Okay, and this is the first time in history that we're actually seeing it decline over a long period of time like this. So this is a huge squeeze on the supply. And we can also compound this with a net difference change between the inflows and the outflows. What are we seeing? Well, we're seeing a lot of accumulation going on. This has actually been going on pretty much since 2020. There were a couple pockets of green in here, but absolutely nothing like 2018. Okay, 2018, we just saw the exchanges getting loaded up with a lot of Bitcoin. And now all we're doing here is seeing Bitcoin leave the exchanges at a rapid rate. Okay, so over 3.5 million. I know Glassnode data fluctuates a little bit here and there. I said 4 million yesterday. It was 4 million when I looked at it. It's now about 3.7 million. So essentially, we've got a lot of Bitcoin leaving the exchanges, and it's leaving at a very rapid rate. And that's just 2022, 3.7 million as of today. Basically 1st of January through to the 1st of May, 5 months or basically 4 months, we have seen 3.7 million BTC leave the exchanges, and that's the net difference between inflows and outflows. So really important that we understand, basically there's accumulation going on, and the whales are accumulating heavily. If we take a look at all the whales that hold more than 1,000 BTC, and we just shoot this back down into what we see here, basically ever since, you take a look, like none of these whales have been really heavily looking at BTC since the lows of June, right? They were actually dumping, I think. We take a look, yeah, they were dumping basically in February of 2021, bringing the price down from $65,000 down to the lows of $28,000. And now we're starting to see the accumulation to go on again, okay, as we reach the low areas of about $32,000 Bitcoin. So essentially what we're witnessing here is the accumulation continuing, okay, the whales are buying. We are seeing Bitcoin leave at rapid rates from the exchanges. So essentially, I think after $34,000 low is achieved, there's going to be a rapid surge upwards. Now, what I would like to see is a 5-wave structure here. And obviously it won't look like that, but if I zoom out a little bit, my reasoning for this, let me see if I can bring this in. I can't bring it in anymore. Let me just bring it up into a 4-hourly, right? So if I just delete that off for a second, right? We've got this kind of corrective pattern here. And this is still possible that we are playing out this corrective pattern. And this is, we could think of this as a really bad move. Okay, this is a bearish scenario, but we could look at this as a B wave high, and then we're pulling down in towards the $25,000 range or $20,000 range, whatever you want to call it. If you're bear, that's the picture that you're looking for. If, however, we are tracking this as a corrective pattern and we're finishing here, this would be a 3-3, and I would expect 5 waves to come up, and I would expect that to go up into new all-time highs, and that would be my opinion on it. Now, obviously, when you have that, I think it's still a corrective pattern. Many people might have different opinions on that, but essentially this would be a 3-3-5 structure. Alternatively, and the better structure to have here would basically be for some kind of short-term corrective patterns that then allow and set up a 5-wave impulsive structure rather than just a corrective structure going up. Either way, I think the move up is likely to happen after $34,000. And we just don't know how high that's going to be until those waves actually appear. But essentially, when we start tracking all of this stuff, I think, yeah, if we're going to focus in on these micro movements, which I think is really important that we understand the moves that are going on right now, rather than trying to think about what's going on long term when there's variables that may be different and maybe have changed a little bit. Do check out the Bitcoin video I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm going to be talking about bull runs, bear markets, and whether or not the monthly close that we had will basically be confirmation of the bear market. So check that video out. That'll be out this afternoon. And basically I'll go into a bit of detail across the Glassnode data, across the monthly charts, across the previous 2013 run, 2017 run, the bear markets of 2014, 2018, and all that kind of good stuff. So check that out. But I'm going to leave this video here, guys. I still expect a little bit more downside. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.